he basically sold us out for a couple of pounds for YouTube. Are you mad? Do you know what I mean? I don't have any, I don't want to hear what you have to say.
They've been gunning us in the last few weeks because they are saying that this could only happen to black Brits because we are soft and ripe for colonisation.
Excuse me?
But very simply, if you was a Muslim, you ain't going to get the job as Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yes.
Right.
Even if you convert. So,
Hello. Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm Auntie AK and I am here with
Auntie Farah.
Auntie Nana.
Auntie Sade.
and
Uncle Dane.
I'm back. We have a special guest as well behind the scenes. Auntie Palumi, shout. Just shout.
I'm no one's auntie.
The shade.
I think you are though. You know, don't shade us.
We've got a full house. How is everybody doing?
Good, man.
Yeah,
All
good.
For the main part there.
Is that it? No stories to report? You're
I have
good?
no stories this week, sorry.
Oh, it was my birthday.
Yes,
there we
it
go.
was.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
How was your birthday?
It was really good. It was chilled. I didn't do much during the day. Then had dinner with these two and my sister-in-law, and it was great.
And she had an amazing photo shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I did.
We like.
Yeah.
Just like.
Oh my god.
Directed.
Yes.
It was so good.
It was just like it was a lot. But it was so good. It was good, but I wasn't expecting it, and it was. Yeah, we got some nice pictures.
Is there a reel on your Instagram?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
It's
Come on.
And you
Yeah.
were good. You were really
You
good.
listened to direction.
You listened to and you didn't.
We have one
be
sheet
like
that we
enough
need to
now.
get right though.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes. We won't talk about that here, please. Thank you.
No, we will not.
They can work at in post-production, man. Don't let them stress you, boy. It's chill. Work under these conditions.
Do you know what I mean? I've been fighting for my rights.
There is no HR in the aunties. Auntie Farah, take it away.
All right, gonna do some would you rather.
All right.
Okay. So, would you rather be trapped in a romantic comedy with your enemies or trapped in a horror movie with your friends?
Romantic comedy, 100%. I don't like horrors, so no.
Yes, that's your life.
babe.
Oh, rom-com.
Okay.
With
Is there any
enemies?
reason why, or
Because
She's going to change her mind soon.
She is. She absolutely is.
What's the point?
I
of
Enemies.
actually don't like horror, so why would I want to be scared?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought about the friendship and the fun. We'll be laughing and laughing. But if it's a horror film that's like Scary Movie, then it's all jokes. But people still die in horror
Yeah.
films. So I don't want to die with my friends or see my friends die. So a rom-com with my enemies.
Okay. Uncle Dane.
Good logic there. I'm the same. I think I'd rather be in a rom-com with my enemies, because sometimes that's like the premise for a rom-com anyway. Is like these
Yeah.
two people who couldn't get on had to be in the lift for an hour. Now they're in love.
yeah.
It's crazy. And then it comes when it's like that. Then it's like these two people. I ordered a latte. No, I think you'll find it was my latte. And then go reach for the latte, and then it goes this summer. And then, after that, I wake up with my friend in the storeroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Watch my
Yeah.
friend die.
Oh God.
Auntie
All
Nana.
right. I'm going to go with the horror movie because I will be the person that dies first.
I knew it.
So it's
I knew
okay.
So it's fine. You're going to see. Okay.
So it's okay.
Serious.
Just check out.
Straight away.
You lot on your own.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the horror movie because I feel like if I've got my friends around me, I'm smart enough to fight my way out. I'm black as well. I'm running away from the team.
No,
I'm not
black
running
people
towards
die
it, but I'm running
first.
away from it. And I also know how to play dead. So,
But
yeah.
it's forever and ever, though. It's
Yeah,
always
that's
a
what I'll do.
horror.
It's fine.
can do
The
it
whole
together.
life.
You can do that.
Horror film though, this is what I feel like.
That's why I said if it's a comedy one.
Yeah, if it's a comedy one,
Like
or
Black-
a stupid horror film.
No.
where basically, you can be a black person and you hear "get out." Okay,
It's fine.
I'm
good. I'm good.
Oh, do you know what then? See, this is why you had to explore it more before you give your answer.
You always want to explore it more. That's the problem with
A
you.
group of your other like-minded friends of similar, ethnic extraction.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Hotel of Blood, and we were like,
No.
leave. Yeah.
No.
It's the loop for me. It's the loop. So how many times you loop and you're trapped
Forever.
They
You get to
still
the end of the
jump
film and it
scares.
starts
Each
again.
time you can literally
No.
just be like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah,
and then you
every time.
go.
Trust me.
forever and ever. At least
Yeah.
rom-coms, you're
No.
going to have roms and coms.
Then
But
you
you might
have
not
like
get to
big
the rom.
moments in rom-coms. You have like
Romantic.
it's cool.
And comedy.
It'll be like different seasons.
Rom-coms aren't always
Let's go.
good.
Next
No,
one.
they
They're not
Yeah.
always good.
Please.
Anyway, okay. Would you rather have to eat everything you you've ever disliked for the rest of your life, or have a job that you never wanted for the rest of your life?
The job.
100%.
I think I'm going to eat eggs and oysters for the rest of my life.
A job.
No way.
Even
Cabbage.
that combo is gross.
Oh.
Like, seriously?
So many
job.
things I don't like. I really don't like a lot of food. That would just be horrible.
Impossible.
I'm
Yeah.
anti-work as it is. I think I'm actually living that. So
Yeah, most people are.
Yeah, that's true. No, I like food too much. Come on.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
so you'd go with a job as well.
I'd go with a job as well.
Yeah.
Dave,
I
what
mean,
you
it'd be
going for?
painful.
I think I'm going for the job as well, because I'm lactose intolerant as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Imagine.
Can you imagine?
It means for the people that enjoy their job, I'll be very hard to work with. I can't be next to him, he stinks every time. It goes back in the cheese every lunchtime.
Why are you still eating that?
Oh,
He
God.
can't stop.
I said, why? He's like, I'm cursed. And he's mad. It's making him mad.
It's facts.
Okay, this is another kind of job related one, and it was on the Shea Bar. So it says, would you rather marry the person you lost your virginity to, or stay in the first job you ever had for the rest of your life?
My first job was in the kitchen of a nunnery.
What the hell?
It was, randomly.
I can see you as a nun, actually.
Yeah.
God.
Really?
I can see her as a nun,
Be
yeah.
a devious
She
nun.
loves wearing those types of clothes.
Yeah, but it's not about the dress sense.
It's not the dress.
She does,
wear a
but
habit.
it's not about the dress sense. It's about
Well, wait.
everything else.
Well, no, wait,
There's some
pause.
other things that she
Pause.
loves that she can't do as a nun.
Scratch the record. Do I wear
crazy.
nunnery dresses? Nun dresses? I do
similar.
not. No, they're not. Nuns have to wear moo-moos. All right. But anyway, I'll be a vicious nun, a sinning nun.
Is that what you would do then, rather than marry the person that you lost your virginity to?
No, the person I lost my virginity to, he's alright.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
know.
what's your choice?
I want to hear
She wants to hear more.
she wants to analyse.
I need to analyse.
Auntie Nana, what would you do? Were they both that bad?
Yeah, honestly. You know what? I'm going to go with the first job. I worked in the gadget shop. That could be kind of fun. I could do that.
That'd be
live.
fun.
Yeah.
You'd quite like that. I
Yeah,
could
you'd
see
be
you in the
alright.
gadget
It
shop.
also doesn't exist anymore, but
No, but yeah.
No, but
it would
this is in a world where it does.
It would exist, though.
yeah, because you could work
And
your
you
way
become
up.
manager, yeah.
You could be director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would be-
Dreams.
that's exactly what I'm
No,
doing.
well, you lot are missing the point. It said
my sister
the
type
first
in my
job.
head. You could be director.
No. It said the first job you ever had. So there's no moving up. The job that you had is the job that you've got. It's not
I
like
was
I worked in this place and now I own it. There's none of that.
Do you have any other jobs?
Your
thing you was paid
first
for.
job, the first job you ever had.
No, I'm still doing that. In a way, that was selling stuff in the playground. Yeah, I'll go with that. It was crystals.
So you'd be in
and
a
stuff.
playground selling stuff. It's not selling stuff. You'd be in a playground selling stuff.
Okay.
So you and your grown ass self
Okay,
are
okay.
going to
All right,
playground to sell stuff to children.
You know.
All right. Let's just go with the first person.
Yeah.
Let's go with the first
That
person.
is so bad.
Let's go with the guy that I lost my virginity to. I'm sure he's still a decent fellow.
Uncle Dane.
After you watch you almost catch a case.
Do you know?
Well, for me, my first job was a paper round.
Oh, your short shorts on a bike. For the rest of your life.
I wish I had a bag. I had a trolley of papers I had to.
Oh, jeez.
So I'd probably stay with the first person I was with.
Let's get into that.
Oh, no.
She is I think I'm quite privileged to have had a good experience when I lost my virginity.
Nice.
Because for both of us it was at the same time.
Are you?
Oh, that's that romantic stuff, isn't it?
Romantic.
Was she happy too?
Yeah, she was.
But she didn't know any different, did she?
exactly.
Yeah, because they're both first.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you that, first time was a natural or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was just, the experience was good on both sides.
I like that. I always like to
I
hear
feel like,
that.
yeah, it informs, like, I can think a good experience can
cute.
inform the rest of your thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
forward, innit? So,
That's very nice.
yeah. So it's,
I like that.
That's cute.
Okay. So for me, it is a difficult choice because the first place I worked was in a Freemason,
That sounds fun.
pub where no.
Oh, in a pub.
Yeah, well, but they done meetings in
Can we
there.
swap?
Yeah, that was, so that was scary. Yeah, and then the person I lost my virginity to is a crackhead. So,
Oh, jeez.
Now?
yeah.
Yeah, I want to make sure you establish that.
No, not then. Oh my god, no. So
Yeah, because
it's
it's
a hard
what you
choice.
said.
Yeah, no.
I was like, what?
God, could you imagine? So
Wow.
Although that's testament to yourself that ever since then he was chasing that high again, boy.
right, it's true.
So Charlie was going, I turned to crack.
Look at our brother Dane hyping you.
I love it.
I love it.
Nothing else will do.
So it's hard. It's really hard. I don't want any of those realities.
You have to pick one.
Probably the Freemason one.
Thank you.
That's an easy one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can't be married to no
because
crackhead.
That's like
Oh my god,
Illuminati,
they
man.
could like
I'm
try
scared.
and sacrifice you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why
No, but
does,
she's
wait,
still
why does that
working.
excite you?
You know what I mean?
Why is that exciting?
Because she could run out and tell us like what happened.
No, but she's still working. That means she would never be killed.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, no thanks.
You would never be killed because that's going to always be your job, innit?
Yeah, always.
But you'd
That's your job
survive.
forever.
Yeah.
That's back the information.
But literally,
Exactly.
I got fired because I dropped all the plates all the time. So that was just ridiculous.
Scared.
But like after 3 days, it was ridiculous. So like, if I'm dropping plates all the time and like doing the meeting,
They would have killed
I'd
you.
say enough to they would have.
No, but she's still in the job today, so you'll survive.
I'll be beaten or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah,
I'll do something. Yeah.
A dungeon or a room.
But maybe I could steal secrets and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the part.
leak to the press.
Go on,
Okay,
Auntie
I think
AK.
I'll marry the first.
Oh,
Okay. After all of that.
After
that's cute. Are you gonna
for why?
give us some more?
Yeah, exactly.
For why?
Because he's a nice dude. I think he's still a nice guy and might happily ever after, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do the first job I ever had, which was in a hairdresser's, and I used to have to sweep up the floor, the hair on the floor, and also wash people's hair. The bad thing about it was like the reason why I left after a week is because on the Saturday he was like, "We're not very busy. Can you go upstairs and wash my dishes?" And I went into his I went into his kitchen, and literally it was like no dish had ever been washed ever in the world.
He thought you were a slave.
He thought I was a slave, and then I rang my cousin, and she was like, "Later, no."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gross.
But
That
it
is
was
horrible.
awful.
But you
But
stay
I
in
would
that
still
place.
do that because the first person I lost my virginity to cheated on me, and I don't want to be in a marriage where someone cheats on me.
Yes.
So
He may
I
have
hear
done,
you.
though. If the chance comes back around for a gentleman, he might be like, "Do you know what? I made mistakes."
he's actually married
Is
now.
this from experience?
Yeah.
Dave?
Oh, maybe he had to learn.
No, I think he did learn, but not
Oh.
necessarily for me. But you know,
Yeah.
Like that.
he's actually a cool dude.
Some of these menial jobs, though, I feel like sometimes it's not so much the job and how much it excites you necessarily. It's the cost of living, isn't it? If you could have afford your bills or your overheads with a job like sweeping hair or delivering papers.
Minimum effort is true.
Yeah, it's true. You know,
Really, sometimes if you can just go work, go home, not give it another thought when the clock goes.
yeah.
That's not the worst thing. Some
Yeah.
people like that, innit? There's a lot of emphasis on entrepreneur and boss culture and all this other stuff.
No, it's
but-
very hard
Can
work.
anyone from our audience who makes about $5,000 a month sweeping hair, let us know.
Let me know.
'Cause
And
we'll
if
go
you
with
got vacancies, I am.
we're all on it.
Yeah.
That'll be the last episode of your Aunties. All right, guys. Auntie Farah, who are you welcoming to the family?
Oh, geez, I actually forgot. Wait, I do have someone. Hold on. Wait. Pause. That's Auntie AK
And
likes to
let's talk
say.
amongst
I would like to
ourselves.
welcome to the family Earth to Earth Organics, and I feel like I've welcomed them before, yeah. But the reason why I'd like to welcome them to the family is because recently they were on Channel 5's, I can't remember, insert program here. So they were on a farm program. Long story short, they moved from London to Wales, where they now grow their own produce that they use in their company. So when they say Earth to Earth Organics, they are really organics, and I love and I respect them. I've known them for a very long time. They're personal friends of mine. But aside from that, they've got an amazing company. They're the only skincare I use on my body. They're amazing, and I just love their trajectory and the fact that the world is getting to know just how great they are. So I would like to welcome to the family Earth to Earth Organics.
Yeah,
Love
big
it.
up Earth to Earth Organics, beautiful family,
Love that.
beautiful family run business. Black owned, black owned, black owned.
Yeah.
All right, guys, time to get into what have you heard. Auntie Nana, what have you heard?
All right, we're jumping into the deep end here, guys.
Oh, shit.
We are going to be talking about just pearly things.
There should be lightning.
I mean, people have been asking for us to talk about this as well since our last episode.
Wow.
And when we spoke about King Rich's, a lot happened that whole weekend And so we didn't touch on it. So just a quick rundown of what has taken place with her. And we're going to call her Hannah, because that is actually her real name.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yes.
Ooh.
That was like, she was the first one I lost my virginity to. I remember.
Oh, wow. Different.
That was the case, boy. My goodness.
Hannah was called out a couple of weeks ago for interviewing a known racist and Holocaust denier, Nick Fuentes, and she has since taken that interview down. So that was the first kind of foray into the public, people being like, that's out of order for the first time. And then Sa Ra Garvey, a long-term collaborator on her platform, called her out. Called her out after the slavery and Holocaust backlash, and he called her a colonizer. You'll remember that Auntie Farah also called her a colonizer over here last year. But anyway, he said that she is a colonizer, and he discussed the contracts that she is issuing out to her talent on her platform, where she would own 70 to 85% of your YouTube channel revenue. And then the latest foray that has come to Hannah's door is a white lady called Amy, who is now fundraising to sue JustPearlyThings platform for being shown on her show and subsequent clips going out. And she has been bullied by Pearl's audience as well for a number of months. And she won't take down the clips. The clips are still there. So she is fundraising on GoFundMe. She's a vulnerable adult, and it's out of order what Pearl has done. So I have a few questions for you guys for us to get into this. First, your thoughts on Hannah Pearl Davis, her full name, and her YouTube channel. Does Sa Ra Garvey owe Black Brits an explanation on his involvement on JustPearlyThings? And also, Black Americans, they've been gunning us in the last few weeks, because they are saying that this could only happen to Black Brits because we are soft and ripe for colonisation.
Excuse me? We're soft and right for colonisation.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Okay. Boy.
Okay. Wow. I have to take a deep breath.
The thing is, to be fair, going back to front, it was a lot of black men from the UK who apologised and gave space. Well, I say apologised, like gave space for Hannah. Yeah, that's the word. That's the phrase. Were apologists for Hannah and gave JustPearlyThings the shine and light. It doesn't mean to say that we're right for colonisation. There's a whole broad brush to tarnish a lot of us who have spoken against people like Pearly Things and the Manosphere at large, because the Manosphere is definitely thriving in America too, and there are definitely men who are white who are collaborating with black men as well to perpetuate all this nonsense. So I don't believe that. We have a different relationship with our the man over here though, so that's a conversation we can get into, but I don't know if I can say that. So no, I don't agree necessarily.
So you don't think that JustPearlyThings could have done, like, we were a ripe audience for her to do this platform, and would it have worked in America?
I think it would have worked in America. I really don't believe it would.
It does work in America.
The same thing happened with Adam 22 and No Jumper.
I don't know all the
I don't know that.
So I guess the No Jumper is like more of a hip hop podcast that's become a whole platform.
Yes.
And Adam 22 has other presenters that do stuff, including like he's got another dude who's like a former sex worker or pimp and stuff like that, just to name a kind of people. But essentially it's a very similar vein where he interviews rappers, but he's also interviewed like porn stars and the like. And very recently he interviewed a white supremacist. I'm not sure if it was Nick Fuentes, but he interviewed a white supremacist, and a lot of his black colleagues and staff complained, and his rebuttal was, you do what I tell you to do.
Oh, wow.
So they've in turn now left No Jumper, and he is now dealing with that backlash, as well as the backlash that he was also shown on social media to be engaging in conversations with a 16-year-old, and yeah, when she was 16, and obviously being accused of grooming and stuff as well. And yeah, this all happened as well, and it's entirely the same model where he initially used to do, like, I guess, quasi safari tours of notorious neighborhoods in the States, and was able to parlay that into merchandising and then having shows. He's had people like Kevin Samuels on the show and stuff like that as well. He's had people like Rizza Islam have appeared in his show as well. So he is another person that has largely profited from, I guess, black culture in general. So to say that the UK is right for that, very erroneous. But also at the same time, African Americans, and I'm not saying this to say the sentiment of all African Americans, you need to understand something, because I don't think you lot are grasping it. Number one, two things, yeah. For all your talk about colonization, just remember, yeah, that the biggest rapper in your country is Canadian, and he's half Jewish. That's number one. Number two, like, we live very different lives where you might deal with racism, a way of racism where you are seen and you are profiled. The UK, they don't even think black people are even here. And this is something that people don't seem to be able to grasp over there. Because if you're always talking about colonization, tell us how people like Adele are dominating your charts and Ed Sheeran then. Because they're from this country, and without the internet, you wouldn't even know about black acts, or some of you didn't even know black people existed in this country either. So
who's more colonized?
Who's more colonized, really?
I mean, I don't think it's. I can see why people would say that. Do you know what I mean? I actually can see why they would say that, because I don't think we do ourselves any favours sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, really, truly, like, I think even when we went on the show, like, I feel like it was really difficult even processing it, and seeing everything come to light now, it's like I feel better about it. Do you know what I mean? But when two idiots are arguing, or two people are, who's the idiot? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Or which one's in the right, or whatever, like, kind of thing. So it's just like, if we're feeding into it, it can easily look like, yeah, we're easily had, because she had a string of, you know, black influencers and creators on her show, like, one after the other, and also getting being caught out constantly, do you know what I mean, and being framed and manipulated, and the way that she clips things and stuff, and calling them, you know, changing their point of view and that sort of thing. So I think it's easy to come to that conclusion that this could happen here, and to be honest, it has. She wouldn't have been as big as she is had it not been for her being endorsed by this
Sa Ra Garvey.
Yes, this guy, and do you know what I mean? And all those people going on the show as well, kind of thing. So I think there is some truth in what. In that perception. At the same time, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I can see how it can be perceived like that, and I can see how exactly it happened over here, because she should have been shut down. And you know my thoughts anyway. Like, I don't want to hear what he has to say. He's a coon, and he basically sold us out for a couple of pounds for YouTube. Are you mad? Do you know what I mean? I don't have any. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
We're mad, but that's the problem as well. Is that I think the issue as well on a larger scale is we're not just dealing, like you said, is a couple pounds, and there is a slew of people, particularly online, who are queuing up to do the exact same thing. Dangling the carrot of clout nowadays is easier than it's ever been. So even if you do have people that have integrity who are not prepared to feed into a particular narrative, other people, we live in a world today where things are measured by metrics. So nowadays, even if you're chatting shit and you are shucking and jiving for the camera, people are going to watch it. Even if they hate watching it to cuss you. They're going to watch it just to leave a comment. And the way that precipitates is that the metrics means you're still getting more views.
Yes, that's true.
The content you're making is disgusting. Like, we need to make sure there's a distinction between creativity and art and content, because there is a big difference. Because you'll watch something of someone and hate watch it and be like cussing what you're looking at, but the numbers still appear as numbers. So those things can be very easily manipulated. But for me, like, again, that the countries are two very different countries. African Americans, or the diaspora there, form 10% of the population. It's like 3% here. It's two very different things. And whether or not we want to accept it, the large part of the purchasing or viewing demographic online is normally people who are going to be right of centre, white boys who are edgelords, who are into gaming and stuff like that as well, who watch these things, and even they sit down. The same thing with, like, Fresh and Fit. They sit down and watch these things. These guys attract attractive women. Men sit down there watching there, being incels, stewing that these are women that they probably will never attract. And they watch it because they want to see the spectacle of these women supposedly being taken down a peg by the hosts. It's just a formula that works all the time. In the same way that, like, we can all talk about what you put as content on social media. If someone on social media with a bikini, they're going to do more numbers than you.
So I think that the thing about colonisation is it can be repurposed in a different way. How we get got by the man is a different way to how they get got in America, because for how long have we had rappers? Look at the example of was it Soulja Boy, or is it Soulja Boy? Not Soulja, what's the other one? Who went to prison, who did the... What's his name?
Are you talking about Bobby Schmurder?
Thank you.
She
went with him. To the top. Bobby Schmurder, for example, when he was trying to get his record deal, and that whole thing about him on the table rapping all these hood lyrics in front of a bunch of white executives. We have had black rappers from America been pimped out by the industry for so long. So that's another form of colonization. We've had that kind of hood narrative that's been pumped into our culture and society And we've talked about that, the deals that are made and how the people that are controlling the industry, we make it for them, we make the money for them. So colonisation happens in different ways to all blacks. We're all colonised. So I don't think it's like we're less got in. It's just different ways.
No, it's not that. It's not that I think that we're less got. I just think Dane hit the nail on the head where Americans don't fully understand the black experience here. No. We're very open to the black experience because, you know, television and film, it's what we see, it's what what's been pumped into us, but the same cannot be said. So they have this idea of what we go through here, like, oh, you don't suffer from racism, oh, you know, and that's just not the case. So I think those particular comments doesn't sit well with me, because that it's proven that this could have happened in America. Exactly. It's not just exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just that the stages in which they've advanced are very different, because even the way the layout of music is in America now, and even in this country, and I say this particularly to younger people all the time, you lot need to understand. You see, before this internet, they didn't even call it black music; it was called urban. Yeah, people have forgotten this. You know, that's the part they've forgotten. They wouldn't even give us the credence of even acknowledging us being creators of a particular genre of music in this country. It's only now, because the internet can now reflect the taste of people, that you see the aesthetic of like music has changed. Like, we're living in a country now where you got a man that is my father's age. Remember, this is the Aunties and Uncles podcast. Tim Westwood's got 25 years on us. But even 25 years ago, he was too old to be hosting a hip hop show.
Yes, you're right.
Yes, definitely.
And no one said a word
at all.
Even
Well,
Charlie Sloth is 43 years old.
And Charlie
You definitely said it, but I'm saying generally the industry didn't say a word. Nowadays, like, even I look at shows like things like People Just Do Nothing. Now, I like that TV show, but I know for a fact any black person that went to the BBC and said, I've got an idea for a garage collective to be a comedy as well, they're going to tell you it's too London-centric, which is basically Britain's equivalent of saying woke. Basically, they mean too black.
Chicken shop as well. Chicken shop as well. Do you know what I mean?
But even before that, even the idea of a chicken shop, the cuisine at a chicken shop, South Indians do not eat fried chicken at home. No. They don't. Sri Lankans don't eat that. No. Fried chicken and ribs, that's like southern cooking.
Yes.
That's been appropriated and sold back to people in the first place. And at the end of the day, when we talk about colonization, media is probably the most effective tool that racism has had to distort our image.
Yes.
So now, before, when like social media was a bit more democratized, then there was maybe a chance. But if it wasn't for social media, I don't think things like Black Girl Magic and Black Boy Joy as hashtags probably wouldn't have been able to prosper. We wouldn't have been able to have those shared experiences, which you're seeing now. The problem, what they're worried about, is because there's a shared experience now we can start comparing notes and ideas and ideologies and talk about our colonization collectively. But what people don't understand is, social media is not no democratic thing that people think it is. There is algorithms involved, and there are people involved in companies. So it's not that there's not content that can rival Pearls. It's not making it to the front of your algorithm.
Yeah, that's very true.
This is all very much manipulated. So I wanted to talk about this with you guys one time, is that when we talk about ownership and stuff like that, really, as a group of people, we need our own servers. You need your own online spaces, because anytime you're out here, even nowadays, you can't even get into conversations that are necessarily racially charged on social media, because you've got people who might be in the FBI or CIA, and this is a fact, who are masquerading as black people, who will go onto forums and on threads just to spread discourse.
That's very true.
They just go online just to cause trouble. Even people with Pearl and stuff like that. It could even go so far as this. People are being paid to say stuff that is derogatory to dark-skinned black women. They are financially incentivized to do so, because the more separated people become, you know what that means? You can't form like a good voting base.
No, we've said stuff like this. We've literally said the same thing, that, you know, like, where's this actually coming from? This narrative of hate amongst us, where is it actually coming from?
Agent provocateurs are actively involved in starting conversations. It's like, even nowadays, whenever I see a thread and it's related to an issue that might affect the desperate, and the first thing someone says, as a black person, I'm already like, why would you even say that? Why would you even say that?
So then,
sorry, like, I do think though, it's especially this case of Miss Hannah. It's really, she's got to fame through black men.
Yes.
Her bookers were black men. Do you know?
It's true though. It's true though.
She's sitting up there on perched up talking about women's standards and how they should appear. But here is the real bottom line, none of these men that's going on talking about gal is going to move to Pearl afterwards. No one's asking for your number. No one's going to be seen with you while the sun's out.
Can I pause you on that? Before we go back to Charlie, I think that they would bang her. Because
No.
I think they would.
I'm telling you, it's not happening.
No,
No, I bet they
absolutely.
would.
The men that
I don't
go on
have
her
faith in
platform.
that. I don't have
Absolutely
faith in
not.
that. I don't have faith in
Absolutely not.
that.
She is
The type of men that she's
so-
attracting and the type of men that she's attracting.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know how this is going to come across. Like it's a personal attack and whatever. But I've met her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She does not ooze that kind of energy in any sort of way. She comes across asexual to me.
Yeah.
To be honest, so I just don't even think that's going to
So there's
happen.
that, yeah.
But it's just like what she does is she appeases their ego.
Yeah.
She appeases.
That's
That's
all.
what she goes for. And what she doesn't understand, as we were talking the other day, not Aunties Know, it's just like she's using you to perpetuate white supremacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And the thing is, these black men just don't understand that that's what's happening to them, and it's just so frustrating.
The reason
That's why I said. That's why I call them overseers, because she's the master and they're the overseer.
The reason why I
100%.
said that I mean, because aside from what she puts out there in her like sexuality or whatever, there's something about the power that she grows. I wouldn't be surprised that she would end up with a black man in that respect, because that's what happens. You chase the power and think, yeah, this white woman's going to get me to places. And unfortunately, we've had displays of this time and time again. So that's the part I'm talking about. Whether she's attractive or sexually or whatever, that's different. And actually, I think her racism betrays her that she probably wouldn't even like to end up with a black man.
No, the thing is, I'm not. That's what I said. That's what
Her
I.
ex is
Yeah,
black.
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
I don't
she
know her
wouldn't
back.
have a black
That's
man.
because white
I'm
women
not
don't
saying
want
that.
her. That's
I'm
the
saying
thing.
what I am
She's
saying
not
is
the
what I am.
She's the type. Sorry, but
okay.
she is the type of she's the type of white girl that gets thrown away by white men.
Yes.
Do you know
Well,
what I
then,
mean?
fair
That's the type.
That's
of
what I'm saying. She would get.
It's
You know
not.
what I mean?
No, I think there's two separate things. It's not that she wouldn't end up with a black man. That's not it. It's the black men that go on her platform.
There you go.
They're not fucking her.
There you go.
Yes.
That's exactly
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
exactly
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Because you have
Because
to remember, on paper, she is representative of all of the women she speaks against.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
in her late 20s and she is chasing a entrepreneurial career.
Yes.
And not
Exactly.
focusing on her fertility.
At all.
As by the ideology of Kevin Samuels himself, she's already in the danger zone.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
And she says it herself.
She's
And
leading as
shows-
well. Why is she
shows
leading?
No sign of adjusting to that as well. So
Yeah.
even the same ideology that she's repeating herself, she don't adhere to. But it's exactly as you said. It's not that men won't go for her. The men that go on her podcast and feed into that narrative, they're looking through you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're looking through you.
They're like, it's okay that she has provided this space where women can go on there, seemingly good-looking women as well, intelligent women, and get lambasted. That's all they're after. It's that spectacle. And the fact that they can send money in, they can do a super chat, she's going to read out your super chat, and you can then coat off whoever is on a panel. That's the formula. That's the thing that for me is so disappointing in black men, especially Sarah. I can't even hide it. I am so disappointed in this dude for him being a part of black British culture for so long on the debate circuit, which we have been in. He's been in numerous groups that I've been in. I've argued with him probably all the time. Never agreed, but thought he was for black people, just in a different way. But to see him on Just Pearly Things, it's like, that's disgusting. You have a black son, you were with a black woman, and you allowed black women to go on there and just get gunned out
I have a theory about that.
continuously.
I have a theory about that.
Is it because his woman hurt him?
Yes.
Yeah, it was that because
That
he's
was
going
the-
Or
through
probably his mother.
That was a theory.
He's going
Both.
through,
Do you know what I mean?
Talk about experiences going through. And do you know what? I'm not saying that in a
Bitterness.
facetious way, because the intricacies of that kind of affects people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand that, but that probably was not the forum for you to have your
Right.
healing,
Yeah.
or for you to vent your anger. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't know his whole life in it. But I just think it is.
Always have
it's
to
simple
pay for
this
their
with men. A lot of men. It's not even just the fact that they're black as well. It's like you said, these are men who are fragile in today's atmosphere,
Yes.
and they have their egos massaged. And it's so much easier for people to be like, it's not that the world's changed and capitalism's betrayed you, and the opportunities for you to normally where you'd assert yourself as a man have changed. It's because women just think they're too nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we, as women, you all have your own stories of just even politely or civilly saying no to a man, and he's like, "What are you saying?" Well, I can't do that because I'm literally holding my child right now and coming from the supermarket.
Yes.
He'd be like, "You think I'm too nice?"
Yeah.
And you'd be like,
And you're ugly anyway.
Yeah.
And you're a lesbian.
Every woman in here has had that experience.
Yeah.
But now these men can now do that with the gift of anonymity and hiding
Yeah.
behind the PSP. If there's enough of them galvanized,
Yeah.
now that is the sentiment it represents. And you also have to understand as well is that, like, I feel.
Sorry, guys.
No, I'm gonna get into it now. That's
So what type of soothing music is this?
Reception. What is going
It's AK's
And what kind of music is this?
It's
What music
AK's
is that?
line.
That's her sex music.
Yeah,
that-
it's
Sexy
AK's
time.
line. Leave a message.
Oh, that was nice.
We
in
actually
my
have
head, in my head, like you was wearing like a sarong, but your bottom could still be seen through. That's what it sounded like, innit?
was like walking
Yeah,
down
walking
the
to-
beach.
No, and you put your hand behind you and you walk down to the beach. And
It's AK's line.
beautiful, beautiful.
It's AK's line.
He's lost now. Look.
I'm saying on point. Like it's an important thing because I feel that I might be a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like especially the attack towards black women, especially, is because modern or Western civilization knows, especially when women are articulating feminism, they normally use black women or AAVN in order to articulate that stuff, innit? So even now when people speak about independent women now, that's now an ubiquitous narrative amongst women in general.
Yeah.
But we all know where that started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the same way that you can, like, I don't need a man. Obviously that's been distorted.
Yes.
The way that's been kind of been, to kind of like be weaponized against women. But that we all know that stems from more of where men felt they were entitled, or men could be substandard or lackluster in a relationship, and a woman would have to put up with it because that was the standard.
Yeah.
Whereas they don't have to do it anymore. And it even goes so far as like Jeffrey Epstein used to tell people not to bring any black women on this island.
Oh, wow.
Because he knew at some point one woman's going to be like, this is not okay.
And it would be us.
That's very true.
And what's most likely going to be a black woman that says this is not okay.
Because that's, yes.
Not only that, on a larger scale, it's like you have to remember, even with elections, it's black women that determine that people like Donald Trump and stuff don't win.
Yeah.
Because unlike a lot of their male counterparts, a lot of men will just be like, I don't really vote because I don't trust nobody. You get
Yeah.
me? Whereas women will go to trouble of registering.
Yeah, that's very
providing
true.
Other women.
Yeah.
Because they know this. This is all political. It's attacking a voter base. The more mistrust they can create around black women in particular, and anyone who identifies with that same ideology by proxy, that means that the right wing would be affected by it.
Yeah.
And so it's all linked to the same thing where it's like you got to be careful. That's what I'm saying. You have to protect yourself, your space, and your energy, particularly online, because the people are looking for. They're looking for black women, or looking to try to demonize that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The more if you're listened to and you talk sense, this affects them politically in the same way, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're a danger
it's
to
always
them.
the same
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Right.
That is exactly it.
yeah, and so you got to be careful. So, and a lot of these guys, they get very duped into it for one of two reasons. It's either for clout, or like I said, they're hurt and having, and also having your ego massaged.
Yes.
Because the bottom line is this: all these men, you're all talking women, blah blah. Well, then you got to pick one.
Yes. Eventually.
Eventually, you got to pick one, and so this theory only holds so much weight at the end of the day, and. Even for a lot of these men, you're never going to be able to do that being at home anyway, because what they don't, the other side they don't look at with people like Andrew Tate and stuff like that is he relies on you lot's loneliness.
Yes.
To monetize it, because if you're out there living your life, you can't pay into his Patreon or his paywall every month for him to tell you how to be a thing. They want you to remain with, and this is anyway. That's a large conversation about how we monetize.
But that is literally exactly it.
How loneliness is now being monetized.
Yes.
And that's on both sides for both genders.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a lot of money invested in loneliness. If you can keep people at home, like people will buy anything to affect.
And they're only making it easier for you to stay at home, aren't they?
Yeah.
Easier and
And be
easier.
angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really feed into your rhetoric
Very-
that is already there.
And
Yes.
that's even a part of a bigger distraction of the fact that, like, we're talking about like, men and women and we can't come together. Blood, even if you come together, you still can't afford a house.
Yeah.
And no one's having that discussion as to why that is. Because that's not okay.
Exactly.
You work and I work, but we can't afford a house in London.
Exactly.
Yes.
Can just
So
about
having that
can just about
conversation.
afford the rent.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Still got to wonder when you're going to put your central heating on.
Right.
Worry about that.
People, like even the conversation
crazy.
where they've created this idea where the idea is that women want men with six figures and all this stuff and blah blah.
Yeah.
We all know that don't necessarily exist anyway. Most people don't have that. That's really the conversation as to why so few of us can even cover our bills. But if we keep talking about this thing in.
Yes, I guess that's always the basis of their conversations, though, isn't it? It's this high value man, and then they come down to like it's only 5% of men, and so on and so forth, and go round and round and find these women who are then going to be like, no, but I'm after a six-figure man, and then it goes on and on and on.
It goes round in circles.
Exactly.
This is the thing about these social media things is that what you notice after you watch enough of these videos is that the talk is never progressing.
No,
Never.
Yeah.
It's
No,
never
no.
progressing. Even for the people that are like pro red pill and all this other stuff, your conversation is not moving anywhere further.
Yeah.
No one's moving forward anyway. And any normal person, if you kept speaking to somebody and they kept giving you the same answer, at some point you just go, do you know what? Fine.
It's dry.
Let's agree to disagree.
Keep it moving.
But that's the point of it. It's basically kind of like brainwashing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like they're continuously seeing the same content, saying the same thing. It just reaffirms those ideas or sparks the idea and then kind of like reaffirms it continuously. It's by design.
And the algorithm just pumps it to you. There's definitely lots in the fact of, even when we went on the show last year, she was on 100,000. It's like 7 months later, she's on over 1 million. Where did you get the funds for the whole equipment she has? YouTube takes 50% of your super chat.
Quick, wasn't it?
The step up is amazing.
There are people funding this stuff.
Yes.
Tommy Robinson is exactly the same. And we got to remember about these people as well, is that whether it's Pearl, whether it's Kevin Samuels, they're not leaders. These are not people that are versed in political science or debate and stuff like that. They either have a look or they have a narrative, and for the right money, they're prepared to disseminate. Tommy Robinson, for him not to work and be able to travel up and down and someone is putting money up for this stuff.
Very true.
Yes, paying him to go around, be everywhere, definitely. Well, I mean, Paul's management is the same as Candice Owens, is the same as another mixed race girl who is now, the one that she's got a long surname.
She's a joke as well because her name is Nicole Sutton. She's mixed race. She's pro right wing. We got a big arm tattoo, sleeve tattoo.
Yes.
So a lot of these people that's like, you're right wing and you're saying you agree with this, but your whole arm is full of tattoos, which is fine, but you look aesthetically like the opposite of what you're preaching about. And for me, the mad thing is like all these women and stuff like that is like you said, where is your man?
Yeah. I know, but it's the same thing over and
every
over
time.
again.
It's ongoing. It's been like the last 2-3 years. It's the same conversation. You don't even see people posing with these girls in Instagram. They're never at dinner. Dinner. No one's at dinner. No one's hand is on like a nice steering wheel of a car. Like these people do nothing but do the same thing because it's about maintaining this content, and it's like it just doesn't stop. And what's on that point though? Do you not know what's happened? Because it's almost like all of Pearl's shows are black people, because obviously King Richard is one. Auntie Jenny's another one.
Yeah.
Are they still there?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're still there. They haven't left.
King Rich was on. Yeah, he really doubled down. He was on his own platform the other day, and he was like taking questions from people, and just. What is so dumb is that he doesn't allow you to have an actual conversation. So someone's questioning him and saying, why have you done this? And he's just like, but did I do that though? But did I do it? And then he does that thing of like shouting over you and belittling what they're saying, and repeating his narrative so that you don't get to any point. That's literally what he did for the whole video, and it's just like,
the thing is,
he's there.
Whatever he says, now that we all know what deal he has, your perception is going to be affected by that anyway. And that's what I mean. People don't think about how it's going to affect them off or offline.
Yes, in life, definitely. And he has to keep on working. And same with Auntie Jenny, she's got to keep on working.
But at the same time, what kind of opportunity would someone like Auntie Jenny have outside of that podcast?
Can you not call her Auntie, please?
I know, like it's offensive, right?
Like I don't like this, and we must move on. We must move on. All right,
because we could have a show about this
and have a.
What I've heard.
Yeah, what have you heard?
What have you heard, Uncle Dane?
I've heard about the new show that's currently on Channel 4, which is called Naked Education, has caused a bit of an internet backlash. The show, hosted by Anna Richardson, Yinka Bokini, and Dr. Alex George, is a body-positive educational series aiming to normalise all body types and break down stereotypes, allowing people, particularly younger people, to ask questions they may have been too nervous to ask, from mastectomy scars to penis size to the ageing body and skin conditions. Obviously, there has been some of the backlash.
And
what do you think?
What should we get into?
So some of the backlashes have been this idea that showing adult bodies to teenagers is in some way trying to normalize the sexual images of naked people to teenagers.
I have no problem with this.
Me either.
No, and I watched it. I watched 3 episodes, and I didn't get the backlash. I got the backlash from the headline.
Yes,
that's what it was.
And then watched the episodes and was like, the teenagers are literally about 15% of the show, and it's really about body positivity. There was so much in it. I was like, this is actually a really good show. I totally didn't get it, and they are all over. I think the youngest is 14. If you have parental consent, it's like, okay, you can look at you're going to look at a body through the screen. I would actually prefer them seeing a natural body.
Exactly. That's how I felt when I first heard it, and I thought, even when it was, nothing wrong with that immediately. And then when I read into it, I was like, this is actually the greatest way to do it, especially for kids that don't have parents who are open to having these conversations, and you get all this misinformation as a teenager. Being able to see something and getting that normalizing conversation, my dick is not that big, my boobs aren't that big, or understanding, even it goes as deep as to say like mastectomy scars and things like that, and having these things that are seen as like taboo or scary or off or awkward or not nice normalized. Nothing wrong with the show.
Some of you are just backward, and you need to just be honest with yourselves and have that conversation about why you're not able to view a naked person without sexualization. Because some of you sound like them kind of people who don't like women breastfeeding in public, because really you look at breasts as something to do with sex, and you don't want to be exposed to being the pervert that you are, and you need to be honest with yourself about that. Because for years you see people in the Amazon, you see these indigenous tribes in Africa and stuff, the women in the village or whatever, they're topless, people still get their work done. People still, the society continued. It didn't just descend into some mad orgy because people's boobs are out, or breasts are out. So it's only in certain aspects of Western civilization where we sexualize both teenagers and we sexualize the human form. Because this idea, we'll throw it in kids' faces. I'm sorry, porn is free on the internet. So if your child is seeking sexual images of naked people, it's not that hard to find. They only need to press the explore page on their Instagram and they will get all the sex they want. So this false selective outrage about Channel 4 showing an educational show is not about them, it's about you, and how you have not given your child a frame of reference so they can distinguish between what is just a naked body and what is a body appearing in a sexual way. It's that simple.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I didn't watch the show. And I didn't read too much into it. I just seen clips on social media and stuff. So I'm not as well versed as everybody else. But I'm generally just not for it. Do you know what I mean? In general, like I think there's many ways to do it. I think Channel 4 have an agenda. They're just trying to be sensational, especially in the way that it came out as well, kind of thing. I don't think they're, it's totally innocent, but like, oh, we're just trying to be educational. Yeah, get out of here. I just don't believe that at all. I think they feel that this is, something that people will debate and talk about and get that kind of like negative press going, and it will make it more popular. And I think that, potentially, obviously, we only see, everything is edited. We don't know, do you know what I mean, how things go down, but we only see a portion of it, well, those have watched it. And just don't think we should be normalizing adults being naked in front of children, especially not in this country as well, kind of thing, where especially
teenagers.
I just don't. I'm not.
What is the? But we do it already. That's what I'm saying.
No, but this is the thing. It does. But it happens already anyway. So why then make a show and try and capitalize on it? We should be doing other things to stop that from happening. Do you know what I mean? And like being protecting children from those, especially like the sexual images as well. Like I just don't. I'm not here for it. I'm sorry, like maybe it's not as informed or whatever, and I'm not even saying that I have a well thought out kind of like position or explanation for my position, but it just doesn't sit well with me at all. Like I'm not here for it at all.
Okay. I kind of see both points, because when you look at what they put out, you automatically see the sensationalism in it, and it doesn't help that the presenter is the presenter that does naked bodies or naked attraction. So straight away you're like, oh, what's going on here? Like you've got that sexual out to get a partner thing connotation because of.
Like, can I just move into something else? I'm tired of looking at people's
right.
Just a thing for you. It's educational.
I think it didn't help that it's her, but I have this thing like with my child, like I have this thing of normalizing nakedness. Now what I mean by that is I don't expect like the rest of the family to walk around naked in front of her, but I will, and I'm not someone who's comfortable being naked all the time, but I want her to be able to see that there's nothing wrong with your body, and this is what my body looks like. So I'm naked in front of her, like if I'm going to the bath, I'm not grabbing my towel, because there's that thing. With that said, I also make sure that if people are coming around, she knows I'm going to close the bathroom door today, or I'm going to get dressed in here in private. So there's that. because I do see the educational side of it and ensuring that people do not have this warped idea of what the human body looks like. We come in many different shapes, and that's something that I teach my child so much. Like, we come in different shapes, we come in different shades, all of these things, and I think that does need to be normalised. I haven't actually watched the documentary, the programme, and it's not because I won't watch it, I just haven't had time to. So I can see how it can be manipulated in a way where it's sexualized, but also I do think it's important for people to have a real idea of what it is to be a normal person.
I actually think that's what the show does.
If they're of a certain age, like you can go on Netflix, and you can be 12 and watch things that are 12, and you'll see naked bodies and people dry humping and all this kind of shit. You'll see that stuff. Yeah. So if it's shown to these children in a particular way, a correct way, where it's like analytical almost, and it's like, this is actually look at the variations in the humans. You cannot be, not everyone's the same. Then I don't really see a problem with it.
I think it's exactly that. From all of the episodes I watched, that is exactly what they were showing. It's like that. So one was about body hair, and the teenagers had to place, where is body hair? Where is it going to be? And they placed it all in all of the areas. And then they spoke about, what do you think of it? Some were like, I think it's gross. It should be shaved off. Others were like, why is it gross? Because it grows out of me. I'm going to leave it there. It was really, really good conversations that young people should have, and then explore, why am I influenced and why have I been indoctrinated to think everybody should be shaved? And then going into actually the media, what you see, and I was like, this makes sense. And then you see a normal body. Loads of people aren't going to see that. Similarly, I won't hide from going to the bathroom if my boys are around. You need to see bodies, and you need to be like, okay, this is what a body looks like. Not what is being put in front of you, perfect breasts, a bum that's perky. You're probably not going to meet that chick, So, and you shouldn't be expecting that the chicks that you meet are all going to look like these people that are put in front of you. I think it's a good show.
And also, don't think that people that have that stuff done are going to be happy anyway.
Yeah.
At all.
So, and also, there's parents out there that can't have those conversations. They don't feel comfortable having I'm comfortable talking to my daughter about what your body's going to go through. Like, we have those conversations, because I didn't necessarily get that. My mum was a nurse, but I didn't necessarily get that from her. And I've made a conscious effort to be comfortable having those conversations with her. But there are people that aren't. There are people that it makes them very uncomfortable. Exactly. So having access to something like that, I can see the benefits in it.
I think so.
So speaking about bodies on display, Hulu have recently announced the Freaknik documentary. Now everyone in the UK is safe unless you travelled, but there was a kind of an event that happened in Atlanta called Freaknik. It's very, very 90s, very, very black, very, very hip hop, and Hulu have announced the documentary Freaknik: The Wildest Party Never Told. And it recounts the rise and fall of a small Atlanta HBCU picnic that exploded into an influential street party and spotlighted Atlanta, aka ATL, as a major cultural stage during the 90s, as I said. And the description questions, can the magic of Freaknik be brought back 40 years later? So there's obviously conversations about bringing Freaknik back. So producers include showrunner and producers include Jermaine Dupri, music mogul, and Luther Campbell, aka Luke, aka former leader of the Two Live Crew, who were infamous for their very sexually expressive.
Luke would be on there.
And who, depending where you look, just to make it very clear for a bit of historical fact, their album banned in the USA, or it's either them or NWA Straight Outta Compton, were the first albums to ever get the parental.
Two Live Crew.
Well, they're saying it was Two Live, and some people say NWA. So, but they got the parental advisory black white sticker on their album, and that's because their stuff was explicit. However, aside from the jokes about people's aunties and uncles getting into shenanigans during Freaknik, there are a handful of prominent black women professionals who are considering taking legal action against Hulu. According to News One, 3 C-suite executives and 1 judge are reportedly planning to file a lawsuit in Atlanta's federal court on the grounds that the doc is unlawful because they didn't sign any media releases.
Yeah, it's true.
There's also been, as you can expect, sexist commentary focusing on the antics of women and less about the rapey behaviour of men in attendance, because there was rape behaviour.
Very much so.
Those were a major catalyst for it ending. What are your thoughts? Did you hear about it, and how did you feel? And are you breathing a sigh of relief that there wasn't a Freaknik in the UK during the 90s.
We didn't have anything even close.
Not even close.
Close. Though.
Not even close.
We knew of.
Right.
Maybe
Wow, that's what I was going to say.
Maybe this
That's what I was
circle.
gonna say.
Maybe we didn't know
Definitely
about
wasn't
it.
anything like that, but
Well,
I'd
not
put
at
it to the
scale.
weekenders.
Well, it would be
anyway.
Not at that scale, but there's definitely things going on for sure.
Like a Choice FM weekend.
Yeah, weekenders. I think that was our thing.
Or maybe,
Yeah.
maybe like a week in Napa.
Southport weekenders. I mean, for the
But yeah,
UK,
but UK
actually on the
probably like
UK.
South-
Yeah,
Southport.
yeah.
All the
Southport would probably.
weekenders.
But still not
anyway,
on
back to
those sort of
Freaknik.
levels.
What were you lot's thoughts?
There was
I thought it was
go on.
jokes. I was
Yeah.
laughing at.
Seen it already?
No, that the people reacting.
reactions.
The
to-
reactions.
I hope I haven't been on camera, and if I was, listen, I was young and like just doing their little pieces for TikTok. But it is unlawful though. That
Yeah,
does
it is.
sound
You
like
know it
you
is.
can't-
People
you
should
can't
get
do a
time
compilation on Hulu.
Yeah, you can't.
Big old Hulu, a compilation
mad.
video of people's
And there were
home
no-
video footage, and then I may be there with my leg cock up somewhere, and no,
Yeah, that's not
it's
right.
okay.
Like, imagine the cameras in Jungle Days. Later. Are you mad?
No,
I
that's
was
not
alright
okay.
in Jungle Days. To be
No.
fair.
I mean,
But yeah.
I still don't want it out
go
there.
ahead.
No, exactly.
It's funny though.
I want to see it.
Because I
because
did-
What really
I've definitely got to see it.
What really made me laugh was like some of the memes from the young girls, and they were like, "Yeah, when my auntie tries to tell me anything,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
right.
like, do you say something? I saw that video of you."
But it's always-
And then they're showing all the famous people that were there. Like there was a clip of Kanye the other day.
I'm serious.
It don't look good,
Kanye's
man.
dropout days. That's what
Yeah.
you look
It
like.
was peak hip hop, like you always talk about the Source magazine. So there's always accounts of it, and I'm like, I can't remember if I was jealous to go. I'm sure I wanted to be there, but in what capacity would
I was
get my
too young.
Oh, please.
whatever?
I
This
mean,
auntie could have never.
seriously.
Auntie would
Seriously.
have, but I don't know what capacity I would have been there. Like, hopefully I wouldn't have been like bum flicks in the air. I didn't have a bum them days.
It doesn't matter. It didn't matter.
I would have been scared to be
Didn't
there.
matter.
Like I literally
was
would
that
have been
kind of like, oh
so
my God.
scared.
I
Like
feel like in those days, like you said, it doesn't matter. I think it was more
It's just
about
like the
this,
fun,
yeah.
but there was the fun element. It was a big music, and it was a cultural movement. It really did shift the dial on black culture having an effect on stuff.
Yeah.
But
It brings us back to the point we said as well when they talk about us being colonised. The fact that it started off as an HBCU picnic.
exactly,
We don't have those here.
yeah, that's true.
HBCUs.
Yeah, we don't have HBCUs
Just to tie in with that, Asian the Brat, aka Asian Doll, I think is an aka Asian Doll. She's a rapper who recently tweeted this and sparked a lot of sexist comments. A lot of y'all N-words are meant to be a fun N-word. That's it, meaning I can have a blast with you, but not boyfriend material. But you're not boyfriend material. Like, we can't be in a relationship, but we can link, take trips, etc. until I find my man to settle down with. LOL. So in amongst the Freaknik conversation, there was lots of focus on the women at Freaknik and their behaviour, forgetting about the men. But also this kind of narrative came out in backlash to Asian Brat that all you women with fun niggers, as it were, you're going to be washed up, and you're not using the men, they're using you. And there was a kind of like a backlash to the fact that women can take control of the men that they have fun with versus finding the man that they want to settle down with. And it's like turning that narrative on its head, because guys always do that to us, like we're just using you till we find our wifey. A woman saying that created backlash.
I mean,
hated it.
but what has changed though? Do you know what I mean? Like, because Freaknik Day was Lil Kim, do you know what I mean? Like Foxy, they would say the same thing about them taking control of their sexuality.
Yep.
They would say the same things about them. Do you know what I mean? And the women that, you know, the girls, I would say even that like them. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't. It's just a different day, same argument. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
But it's testament to, like you said, it's not a new thing. It's just that men are not used to hearing women vocalize the same thing.
Right.
Men can say for time that she's not wifey material, whatever.
Yeah.
Go, ha 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 ha. But now a woman can be like, "Oh, you're fun to link and stuff."
I know many a man.
sure.
I know many a man that when I've said putting my business in the streets, but like when you say to them, "Nah, I'm good," you know,
Yeah.
they can't take it. It's like they get all emotional.
Yeah.
But we agreed that this was fine. Like this,
Men have been
what's the
told
problem?
that it's just a matter of time before she catches feelings.
Yeah, that's true.
Down gently.
They're the
Yeah.
priors.
So the idea that it's like, no, we had fun, but you can go about your business.
Yeah.
A lot of men's egos are not used to hearing that.
That's very true.
Like, to be told, like, you're not someone I want to be in a relationship with, but, like, I mean, it's something I've gotten very used to as a celebrity. No, because I've had sometimes.
Really?
After a show, a woman might hang around me and just be like, well, you know, she's not Hindu, it's like, I just want some attention.
Oh.
Oh.
But you just have to, and that's something you have to learn.
Yeah.
But even for a lot of men, but the thing is, like, I guess for a lot of men, because your worth is more linked to your sexual prowess, you don't get used to having to ponder if someone only wants you for certain things.
Exactly.
But this is why, like,
Yes.
men don't understand, like, that you don't get a lot of male escorts and men don't get flown out, even though there's this new emerging thing of women obviously have a lot more high-powered jobs, a lot more disposable income, occupying more advantageous positions within business. You'd think that a lot of more men could get more money in there for being like sugar babies. And
it might be happening.
And it might be happening to an extent, but not the extent that men would like it to, or men would act like it is. Because
be proud of it.
Proud of it. Exactly.
What's more likely to happen is a homosexual man with money is going to fly you out.
Right.
That's much more likely to happen. And I think also, even going back to the thing with like Freaknik and stuff like that as well, is that it's not new, like you said, because you had your Foxy Browns and Little Kims, you know, Adina Howards and them kind of things there as well. But and even like Trina, there's a thing with Trina's in like the trailer and stuff like that as well for Freaknik. So they've had that for ages, but I always feel like we leave out the fact that a lot of that narrative and a lot of the talk in terms of women reclaiming their sexuality or being overtly sexual is also because it resonates with audiences of gay men. We don't really talk about it, but people before, like things like Lil Nas X and stuff like that, people like Lil Kim are like gay icons.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So when they're talking about the sexuality, it's almost like it's like exploring the feminine side of sexuality, but with masculine aggressiveness, and that's a great way of. That's almost like for a homosexual man, that's the disposition in it. There's an air of feminine to it, but there's still that same kind of pursuit of sex in a masculine way. So you can understand why it kind of resonates with them. So it's not just about heterosexual couples, and I feel like that's why it just goes over people's heads. They're not just they're not talking to you.
So interesting.
They're not talking to you.
However,
and how you would actually get to icon status.
Right.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'm talking to you, and this is what. So these men, they center all this stuff around themselves, and they don't understand that
not about you.
There's other paradigms of how relationships work that don't involve you in the first place, and these women aren't necessarily speaking to you anyway. But
it's a whole cultural shift and a whole cultural movement. It's actually to other women to be more in touch with your femininity and to own it. Right. It actually doesn't have to do with a man.
And it frees women from that thing of we're conditioned to think one man, the first man we link is the first man we're going to marry. Free yourself of being locked in that position.
All this body count numbers,
and then all
bullshit.
that's what I'm saying. Free yourself, because we were conditioned to believe that, to be ashamed of our sexual wants and needs, and to be ashamed that we want to explore different dicks. It's okay,
right?
But, so it's changing the narrative. That's why they're trying to shame back. Like, nah, you're going to be washed up anyway. But no, bruv, you're going to be.
No men did the math. They're not doing the math, because at the same time, if every woman was chaste and then the first man that she stayed with, then you can't rack up your numbers, bro.
Exactly.
If you want to enjoy the idea of casual sex, you need women who are prepared to have more than one sexual partner. So you have to ask yourself what you want, because if every woman's marrying the first man she has sex with, then the job is going to be done for you the first time you have sex with a woman. But you don't want to carry on and have things like Freaknik. Well, you need freaks for Freaknik to work.
Well, and this is the thing, and like these freaks are now judges and directors and thingy. So what's the problem then?
What's the problem?
Like,
Testament.
they can still do it all.
Is that the idea was
you know what I mean?
These women would end up either continuing to serve these men's sexual desires, or they would hope for these women to end up becoming washed up, like you said above. But you find a lot of these men, they're the ones who've not planned for anything to serve. Right. The only thing that serves them is their libido, and they've not planned for a future themselves. And so now they're out here. I've known plenty of men who all they're good for is dick.
I mean,
so do we.
And then ending on that note, because agreed. Auntie Farah, what have you heard? Agreed.
A lot of men out there only good for that dick. So anywho,
the betting shops.
Not an option. Auntie Farah, what have you heard?
So I would like to talk about the Tory councillor who's called Andrew Edwards, and he was eventually, and I'm going to say eventually suspended, because he wasn't suspended immediately, but he was suspended, and he is now he's suspended pending investigation over his alleged racist comments. So he was caught on tape saying, "I think all white men should have a black man as a slave or a black woman as a slave. You know, it's nothing wrong with skin colour. It's just that they're a lower class than us white people, you know." So he's now handed himself in or to the ombudsman, and he said that he can't talk about the case because it will it's not the right. You know, it's not right for him to discuss the case while it's being investigated. And the Welsh government have come out and said that they stand against this abhorrent language and all of this stuff. But I've got a few questions for you guys. Right. So, do you think that suspension is enough? Are we surprised? And should there be regular background checks on these politicians?
Absolutely.
Yes to background checks.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't
there
think.
should not be just be background checks. There should be a racial offence register, and if you are caught professionally using racial discrimination, your name should go on a register. And anywhere else you go for any job anywhere, they should be able to check your references. And if you've been proven or it's been ruled that you have been racially discriminatory or used racial rhetoric, particularly if you're working in a job as either a civil servant or your job involves you front facing with other people, then that should come up every single time.
Yeah.
Like fraud.
Like fraud.
Yeah.
If you make racial rhetoric, because this guy is also a magistrate.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. I actually forgot to mention
Which
that.
means that you have had a direct toxic effect on judicial processes because of your disposition.
All your cases
all
need to
his
be
cases
reviewed.
should be reviewed.
Because
Absolutely.
very simply, if you was a Muslim, you ain't going to get the job as Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yes.
Right.
Even if you convert. So if you are somebody who believes in social hierarchy, you can't be a civil servant or work in social services. And I think that there should be a register, because essentially you're equally abusive as far as I'm concerned. And so anywhere you go, that should flag up every single time.
Yes,
So true.
I love that.
That's actually a brilliant idea.
It is a brilliant idea.
And if they don't do it, then we should do it. And there should be a database for people of colour, so that any one of you can go into the equivalent of Google and be like, this person showed up at my workplace, this is his name, this is what he looks like, what do you know?
What-
Remember, people
yeah.
can change their names as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
If you got a picture, or you could do face recognition, and you can run that person's details, like a racial CV or racial resume, and find out if they're racist. Because
That's
I
actually
don't
like,
That is such a brilliant
actually,
idea.
like really
Yeah.
needed.
if you don't want to feel safe against a former child molester, even if they did something when they were
I was about to
17,
say,
Yes.
well, I shouldn't be feel safe against this guy who
Yeah.
should be a slave.
100.
That's a brilliant idea.
And said it out and was recorded.
Yeah.
So he's
And
probably
said
been
it,
saying
and
this.
he
Unapologetic
just
as
said
well.
it so like blasé, like
Because who was recording him? He must say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody, and obviously someone's seen a problem with it, but
Yeah.
what I would say is, because I feel like even when we talk about these things, I think nowadays it's important for us to explain to people, because this shit is traumatic.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah,
you know,
it
black
is.
person,
It
you know
is.
that people are in Pembrokeshire are employing people like this, is going to make you feel
I mean, look what's going on in Wales, at the moment, and just the racial toxicity that's happening in Wales. Like we've got that young girl that I talk about all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who,
That's
you know,
been locked up.
She was locked up. She's out now, but basically, she's out now.
Oh,
but
amazing.
what happened to her is she was racially attacked in a caravan park. She defended herself, and then she was arrested and subsequently charged and went to jail.
Yeah.
And it's just like, for all we know, it could have gone up in front of
could have
him.
been him.
Could have been him.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean.
Insane.
That can be traumatic. So it's important for people to understand. No more. Yeah, it's not surprising.
We need a register.
But yeah, we need a register.
Yeah, that's a
If you want to have those views,
spot on
it's fine.
solution.
But anyone of colour who has to be around you should be made aware of that.
yes.
very
Like,
true.
these
how I
are
feel.
your opinions.
It's simple.
Brilliant idea.
Is he an MP?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
was
he's an
like
MP.
going between. So he is an
He's an
MP.
MP. Tory
And
MP,
he is a magistrate. He was a magistrate,
Yeah.
or he is a magistrate.
I think. I'm not sure if
Everything
he's still a
about it
magistrate.
has to be looked into.
Yeah.
Everything has to go.
Because in America now, if you get discovered, like there's judges now that have been discovered, so either literally selling children into the
Yes.
industrial.
Yes.
You've had racist police officers that plant evidence, and it means every case they've presided over has to go for review. You even had an Asian woman who was like basically falsifying DNA evidence.
Yes.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw that.
It looks
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
We got to look into
For
that.
me, you know what as well, yeah.
These people are mad.
And that's it. I love it because it means their whole society is predicated on lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, these stories are going to get more and more frequent because you've got one of two things. You've got the other side of like these social services are so underfunded, they are still getting the bottom of the barrel, even the crumbs that come outside of the barrel that are in these positions.
Yeah.
And the more they go on, the stupider they get, and they stay in saying these things out loud all the time. Countries already isolated from Europe as it is. It's just becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and contracting. And this guy, whoever it was, obviously disliked him anyway. Because what you tend to find is with racist people is, it's not that just they don't like people of colour, no one likes them.
Yeah.
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 Nothing makes them happy.
Yeah. Oh well.
Ready? Aunties know best. Aunties know best. Aunties know best. Go on.
Yes, Bluey.
Thank
This is
you.
what we deal with.
Thank you.
Dame was like,
Thank you. Did you like it? Thank you.
There's a point at which the harmony was just there.
Oh.
is that when it
The
ended?
second knows best.
Yeah.
The intonation was perfect. You just said,
Oh,
Thank you. I'm cheating with this one because this is less dilemma, more a little bit of a news story that I wanted to even talk about. But it is a dilemma. It does go into the dilemma realms when it comes to divorce
Okay.
and settlements, because Mr. Achraf Hakimi is trying to mess up our thing.
Jeez.
So, Hiba Abouk, an actress, has lost a divorce settlement bid for half PSG defender Achraf Hakimi's wealth after it was revealed.
just to clarify, she hasn't lost anything.
She hasn't lost.
No.
No,
So
she's not
hasn't
lost.
She hasn't lost.
All
She's-
the headlines are misleading.
No,
me.
he
You can
doesn't-
carry on and just remove the word lost.
I
She
don't
hasn't lost
understand.
anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Hiba Abouk, an actress, is currently in back and forth with her soon-to-be probably ex-husband Achraf Hakimi, a footballer for PSG, and it was revealed that all his money is in his mother's name. So the 8.5 million she could be due might not go to her because of his little shenanigans of hiding his money. So basically, just to get some background, Paris Saint-Germain defender Achraf Hakimi is 24 years old and reportedly worth 24 million. His ex-wife, who's 12 years his senior, is worth 2 million for her actress work. So like I said, she's due 8.5 million if the divorce settlement goes her way. But as said, the duration of their marriage, the footballer hid the fact that nothing was in his name. Everything, cars, jewellery and clothes purchases were made by his mother. So this loophole has set the Manosphere king, Andrew Tate and other men in a celebratory tizzy.
Going in.
They are all excited about this loophole. And just by the way, he makes...
They are going in.
They are like, oh my God, yes!
Silly boys out!
It's a win!
Yeah,
It's a
seriously.
win!
That was
Seriously.
literally, that was the comment.
We've actually been asked to talk about this.
It's literally
They're like,
said
we'll be
people are
interested to see what the
excited.
aunties have got to say.
Excited to know what we
In your
think.
face like that.
Yeah, literally.
and it's, to be fair, it's this narrative like, yeah, it's a win for men. Is this actually a win for men? Is it a win for men? Is it? Can we discuss this as a dilemma perspective? Aunties and Uncle Dane, is this a win for men if men can find ways to get out of paying their spouses their due during a divorce back and forth?
Can we just say it also needs to be pointed out that he
Yes, please.
has an alleged rape
Yes.
case
Sorry, I didn't get to that.
pending.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
because that's been left out of this narrative.
Yes.
So
A lot.
it's just like he's been celebrated,
Clarify.
but then also this is also happening at the same time, and it's suspected this is the reason why she's gone up for divorce
Yes.
Thank you.
in the
For
first
extra
place.
bits.
Well, she
So-
filed after
Yeah.
it became public. No, she filed before, but then it became public, and then people were like, she's filed, and they noted that she wasn't in defense of him. So they had already separated.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So the conjecture is that this was something that didn't go live and she found out, so she wanted to get divorced.
Yes.
And then they've gone live with it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she didn't defend him, and then people did dig in and was like, oh, she's filed for divorce.
Right.
Yes.
So
And
like she put it
within
in
that,
the-
yes,
Yeah.
now it's come to court stage, and it's come out that all of his finances are in his mother's name.
Mate.
From the black lawyers circle, men. This is black female lawyers who have got together and they've created a space on the internet.
Pick up you ladies, rate me, yeah? Rate me. Same. Let me extend the olive branch.
Legal-
Legal. I'm aware of this group. I want to say,
Yes.
big fan. Big fan, ladies.
They have actually said, in law, it doesn't matter that his finances are going to his mother, because when he signed at 19,
Yeah.
that actually isn't that this common. It's quite common because he could overspend,
Yeah.
and lots of guardians do then become the kind of guardian
Yeah.
of their finances. So
Yeah.
that's
Like a trustee, basically.
yes, that's not. And what it is the judge would just look into his finances,
Right.
and can still award his wife, soon to be ex-wife, whatever maintenance she needs and child maintenance. He isn't hiding anything. It's not like he's broke. He's not, because he's getting employed.
Yeah.
It's just his mother is looking after his
Does he have
finances.
kids?
So
They've got two boys. Yeah.
Young children. She is going to get child maintenance, and she will probably also get spousal maintenance that she could have until she dies.
So,
Nobody's up.
dear aunties, I'm a footballer who thought hiding my money with my mum wouldn't give me a win. What say you? How do I resolve this problem?
Maybe you should. You know what I'm thoroughly disgusted at,
Yeah.
is that you are a married man and you thought you could hide your finances from your wife who you've been with for a number of years, you weren't ready for marriage in any way, shape or form, and nobody should be celebrating that you went into a marriage and you were hiding something.
Yeah.
You're a fraud, and she's called it and she wants to leave you. You need to pay up. She should take more than half. She should take 80%.
So it's not a win, guys. All you guys celebrate.
Well,
I'll sit on bare platforms.
I'd also like to potentially play devil's advocate here, where I think people just need to understand that there is an unholy trinity when it comes to money and football and women. So, for example, even though we're speaking about Hakimi as an individual, you don't look at an individual. There is an entire economy that revolves around him, where there are a number of beneficiaries that make money from what he's doing, which may also include his mother as well. And I'm very sure that there was somebody on top of that was involved in encouraging them to form a trust, which might provide some kind of tax breaks and all this stuff outside of marriage, number one. Number two, I think the problem is that for most of us who look outside of these socio-economic echelons, we don't really understand how the money works. Yeah, to us, it sounds like this guy's taking a hit. But what I would say to most guys is, if someone has got the kind of money where they can stay, let's say they got a personal fortune of 20 mil, so they stay at hotels that cost $3,000 a night. If that gets chopped in half, your lifestyle ain't changing.
Yeah.
Even to us, it sounds like she took half of it. Oh my days! His lifestyle ain't gonna change.
Insane.
The bread is still gonna come. In most cases, at the moment, he's gonna make more money than he could live to spend.
Yeah.
Number one, and also sometimes for a lot of people, because I remember when Michael Jordan divorced from Juanita Jordan, he broke her off like half, like she got a fat settlement. Because at the end of the day, for me, the way I see it, however you feel, that's still the mother of your children, isn't it?
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, it's much easier, and it also, there's the mother of your children, because even if she gets on your nerves, if your children see you treating their mother a certain way,
right,
that you're going to be viewed a certain way anyway.
Yeah.
If she is struggling out here, what do you want the mother of your children to be doing to make ends meet to take care of your kids? I'd much rather go, here's the bread, so that the children are going to be fine, and it's never as straightforward as it's made up. So what people always need to understand when it comes to these proceedings, and however toxic it seems, the only people kicking off this are lawyers.
Yes. It's all murky because like a lot of people are saying now, oh well, good for her because she married a child, because like she's 12 years his senior, he's only 24 now, so they got married when he was very young, and they're like, the mum knew better, that's why she made sure she dealt with her son.
I mean,
my issue with these things is always like, okay, fair enough, you both go into a marriage, right? You should take what you came into the marriage with, but what you made together, that should be split. And if you have children, then that needs to be looked at as well. You know, like if she's well off and he's well off, then it's a case of, okay, well, when the kids are with me, I'll look after the children, won't I? Or when the kids are with you, you look after the children. But if you made money together, and it doesn't necessarily mean that she invested, but if you invested your time and you helped this person along their trajectory, then that should be, I think, compensated, because your life has dramatically changed. You know, you've built this world together. I just think that there's a lot of men out there that are like, good, she's a gold digger. And I don't see how she's a gold digger. I think there's lots of murky things with this. He's trying to be smart.
The football thing makes it always so murky, and people outside just don't see it and understand that. Because on the other hand as well, just being a footballer's wife, you're not a gold digger, your intentions are pure. You gotta sit there every day and people are trying you for your husband in your face all the time. And even that, before you even get to the point of proceedings, because again, playing devil's advocate, I'm not playing down the accusations he has, but that's also a part of this whole football sphere anyway, that these things can come up, and that it might be some level of impropriety, but even if nothing happened, it's still this thing whereby, like, when you become this footballer, you're not just a human being, a person anymore, unfortunately, in the eyes of these people. There's a brand and a business, and there's always people trying to manipulate people in order to make money, take advantage of you, tell lies. It's a very stressful thing that I don't think people understand, and the wife probably is very far from the most toxic influence in his life.
Well,
that's very true.
Well, to be fair, we just don't know, right? Do you know what I mean? For me, even if she's a gold digger, do you know what I mean? Like, this rejoice that these men have in these comments, it's just like what Kelechi said. Do you have the gold? do you personally have the gold that these women will potentially dig? You don't even have it. So what are you rejoicing? It's not your money. Do you know what I mean? It's got nothing to do.
Who she's paying or encouraging her to ramp up the proceedings or the suing, you never cuss him.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's so true.
Last thing I'm going to end on, sorry, is that these men are also rejoicing at the fact that the latest bit is that she could end up paying him half of her money.
Right. Yeah.
So they're rejoicing over that.
Mary J situation.
And it's not even
Yeah.
because she doesn't earn more than
Yeah.
him. So they also go on in the black lawyers to discuss that as well, that she doesn't earn more than him, so she probably isn't going to be paying. And he isn't contesting custody. She is going to be primary custody. So again, there's nothing to celebrate.
Premature ejaculation.
But I just want to say, my son, because he follows football so much, he saw this story online. He was Googling footballers and it came up. And then he was sitting next to my husband and he saw the thing come up and was like, oh yeah, I know all about that. Pricked our ears. We're like, what do you know about this case? He was like, yeah, his wife wants to divorce him. She's a gold digger.
Oh,
That's from
the problem.
the headline.
Yeah.
That's a 9-year-old. And these are the seeds when it comes out like that. It's the little kids that are just reading stuff and they're not. We had to go into the whole thing of, she's filed for divorce because of his sexual assault charges. Well, sexual assault. That's when you force yourself, like going into all it, so that he has all of the steps. Because I don't want that to sit in his head.
Yeah.
That he grows up and now when he's a teenager and he's saying some shitty things, it's like, what happened? How did we not see this? It's really trying to hone in
look
on
how you
all
caught
of
that,
the
though.
media.
There's people that
Exactly.
don't catch that.
I feel like people also
And may not have done.
men also need to learn tools of how not to be manipulated as well, because there are
Yes.
people in the industry looking for a come up and looking for a bag as well.
Yep.
So it's about learning about that as well,
Yeah.
which a lot of the time footballers don't get either this therapy or get this these conversations.
Education.
Well, I guess best case scenario is he had an affair.
Yeah.
But he brought another woman into their house and then they have all of these allegations. It's all of those things. It's actually like, where's your safety net? But it's true.
Yeah.
Lots of people don't get that you are a meal ticket.
Your
Yeah.
target.
So when he brings a woman home, my mum would tell me, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" But when you're bringing $1 million in a week or something like that, your mum might look the other way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
toxic mother's another conversation.
We will come
There
back to
is
that very
literally
soon.
that. I do feel that the mother needs to speak. I
Yeah,
want to
she
hear her.
does.
I want to hear her side.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm busy counting this money. Thank you very much.
Quick one. This is a very silly one. I saw on the shade bar. My man didn't defend me after I got catcalled. Is that a dumpable offence?
Yeah.
Bro, yeah.
it?
I'm walking down the street and somebody is like,
But dumpable.
Yeah, dumpable, because he didn't say anything. What if he's like, okay.
Well, I've seen
okay.
one where like it's robbed. The girl.
Oh, I
was
saw
robbed.
that one.
Do you know what I mean?
I saw that.
That's definitely dumb.
Yeah. He ran in the opposite direction.
But
What
cat
said the
called.
Catcall.
Cat
When someone said, they go, "Oh, you're a lucky guy, mate." Hey.
that's all right. Yeah. It really depends on the.
Do you know what I mean? It depends on the moods as well, kind of thing. If he's ignoring it, like he can't deal with it, or can't even turn it
He's
into
been
banter,
martial about
or
it.
do you know what I mean? You know what's true? Yeah, it's true.
Oh, I don't know
Marshall
this.
from Love Is Blind. That's the kind
Yeah.
of connotation that I think.
Oh,
that's what
Marshall ain't that guy. That's that
Marshall's
wood.
not a-
Okay, all right.
No,
we
but
don't
yeah,
need to
yeah.
go into Love with Blood.
I know.
Okay,
Can
cool.
we just have, all right, the guy didn't respond.
Yeah.
Okay, do
I like Marshall, by the way.
Okay, so he blanked
Sound
it.
like it.
He blanked it like it, and I'm shocked by it. Yeah, and he blanked it. Yeah, it's a problem.
Like they
We're gonna
said,
have to
like,
talk.
Yeah, we
oh,
have to
look
talk,
at your
yeah.
bum, it's so juicy and fat.
And then he's going
But
like
that's still, but
he can't
that's
hear.
still man talk. It's like, oh yeah, man, no, my babe.
No,
it's
no,
like,
no,
but I'm
it's
just
not man
saying.
talk.
No,
I'm just
it's
saying.
No,
a
if the
it's a
person said that and
conversation.
you don't say anything.
It's not a dumpable offence.
No, but
it's a conversation.
But my
I
point
think it's
is,
dumb.
I
thinking
think
about
it's
how men-
I think it's on the road to dumping.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Because
too simplistic.
how-
You don't know the whole story. How many other men were on that construction
Okay,
site?
okay, here we go. This is what this is
And if
always what men
Do you
say.
know what? If I feel, no, hold on, wait a minute. If I feel sexually like abused from it, then that's like, okay, and you didn't say nothing, and he got that, like, this is out of order, because that's why I was saying man talk, like, oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a woman. If it's a compliment to your woman,
No
even though
one
it's a bit
says,
bawdy.
"Oh, your woman looks delicious." Like when you're walking past,
they
you
don't
might
say
feel
that.
I'm just saying, it's a celebration.
there's
Yeah,
that
all like,
thing.
oh, look at the tits
It's
on
not
that
a
one.
celebration.
And then he carried on walking.
But then what if it's a thing?
I'm not apologizing. Oh,
What
you're
if it
missing
is a
my point.
thing
Okay,
with the
okay.
man's like scared for his life?
Use
Because
other
we've
words.
talked about before,
Yeah.
like where as a woman you expect your man to be like man up, like
Yeah.
like. But then what if he's scared that if he gets into it,
It's
it's
gonna be
gonna
a big
go,
thing.
it's gonna
As
go
they were
left.
saying, if the
How many? You're
If
saying
he's
there's like
scared,
12 men
I'm
on the
dumping
side.
you,
But even he's not gonna do nothing then, and then he's like, Before, I was just going to go chat to him. Now I'm going to break his head open with a brick. Now it's a manslaughter charge.
Yeah.
So now your man's gone away for 3 years because you have to defend you. It depends the scale to what you want.
That's what I'm saying.
You've also got to know your man as well and what's going to push his buttons. Because some people, because some guys
vexedness,
are looking to put a knife in you because you're looking at their gap.
Yeah.
Right.
So you will never know what kind of man you're dealing with. It's not the story. For me, we need more about that story to know how someone's supposed to react. Because also it could be you could thump a white brother online, and when the police show up, you're getting locked up even though he started it in the first place. So it's a bit more techie than everyone that says something you don't like. You gotta go and punch him up. There's a way to handle things.
It doesn't have to be violence, but you could just be like, bruv, it's all right, man.
Like,
it's
just
easy.
that. And carry on walking.
I think it's gauge the setting.
Or it's just like you talk to your girl like, are you okay? Like,
there's that. There's all of that.
That's the main thing.
That's the thing. You gotta check in.
You can check if she's okay.
Yeah.
You can't ignore it.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You can't be like, the sun is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so much super. I'm not safe.
You can't then be like, oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Check the setting.
Cap said.
Check in on your missus.
Check in on your missus.
Yeah,
Check
yeah.
if she's okay. Check the setting.
She's like, it's not okay.
So definitely, like, men are like, it can go off. It can go into a whole other realm.
One of the things where you're like, I'm going to be right back here. I'm just going to check the meter. Come back. Blood on your knuckles on your shirt. Babe, let's go for dinner. What do you mean?
But the other side of that is also though, if the man doesn't address anything, yeah, then the other side of it is they could see, okay, I can get this girl now. Do you know what I mean? Then actually she's not protected.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. It's like, do you know what I mean? You have to have some sort of medium. It needs to be addressed.
Actually, I have a story that's very similar to this. I went to a house party many years ago as a youth, and
As a youth.
and I remember a guy I knew had brought his partner there. I think he was DJing in the house party or whatever, and some other roadmen showed up who also knew her from the same area or something like that, and they were like, we're just going somewhere, you want to roll with us and blah blah blah, and she left with them.
No.
You heard? And I don't feel like they coerced her, although at the same time there's about 3 guys there, so they may have made her an offer she couldn't refuse necessarily, but it didn't seem like they was like dragged her away or anything like that. But she knew them, and they was like, so he's saying like, come. But essentially she hadn't gone far. Maybe she walked on the road with them to hang out with him for a bit, but she left her man in the house, and he's like, no bro, like, she does this again bro, I'm not having it, and blah, blah.
Again.
That means it's happened before.
So it's like she saw her brethren and like they were like, oh, let this. I don't understand. She left the party and left
With
her
the
man-
bread.
So say we're all in here, they come in, so they was in the studio next door and was like, oh, what are you saying, you're in the studio, yeah? Come in here, jump in here for a couple seconds, and then left your man in here and went next door with these other guys.
She didn't say nothing. She didn't say, babe, I'm just going to chat to my brethren for a minute. She just left.
Something, if she did, it was very dismissive, but she just left basically.
What was the vibe? There was like an attraction there that she's going with them.
Yeah, she's going into. It sounds like
and then in normal circumstances she wouldn't go.
I don't think that's okay.
Made him
absolutely not.
That's not okay.
No, you can't leave.
You can't leave your man. Your man.
I need to, because it's like, okay, so if it's like my
Unless your man's a
I don't.
nut.
It'd be careful with your brethren.
Then he shouldn't be your man.
I don't need to come back. I don't. It sounds.
Yeah, she left him and went off with other guys.
Yeah.
Even if she comes back again or doesn't come back again,
Why?
that is not okay.
It's a weird thing.
I think it's a weird thing.
It's
as well.
very
That's what I'm
weird,
trying to say to
yeah.
you, but it's like,
I feel like there's something missing. It doesn't make sense.
No, what's missing is her
Okay, like
morals.
she goes without telling you.
Was it
that's not your
intimidation?
Yeah.
Are you saying it's intimidation?
girlfriend. No, I'm saying that she doesn't think enough of
Because
you.
let's flip that.
So you
No, I
actually
get it.
go.
It's wrong, but I want to. It feels so stupid to do. So does she not rate her man? She doesn't care that he was there.
That seems
What's
to be a large
happening?
part of it,
Yeah.
that she doesn't rate her man.
Okay, because no one would do that just like that.
You don't
But
rate
I
her
see
man,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with going
No,
to speak to your
people do.
brethren.
People do.
I see
You're going
nothing
to
wrong with
speak,
speaking to
but
your
leaving.
brethren. But there's a leaving, but she came back. So what's this time frame? Is it
I
an
don't know.
hour?
I don't even know if she
Man's
came
in the
back.
corner holding up his.
Honest, I didn't stay to see if she came back.
Oh, okay.
So we don't even know she came back.
I don't
I
understand.
don't know.
I need to explore this some more.
You can't
Wow.
explore it.
I just think that, you know,
need to analyse
there's only
it.
so much human beings can ask of other human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very
Facts.
nice to say your man needs to go and check these people on a construction site, but you need to know who the kind of person you're with before that,
Yeah.
that occasion
Yeah.
arises.
But then you might not know, and then in the moment, then you're just like, that's who you are.
But
We
also
can't be
for the
together.
guy. What about for the guy though? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your response was to just be like, "Oh, shut up." But she's like, "Are you not going to do anything to
No,
them?"
do you not
Well, I don't think
do you
you
not
should
remember?
stop
I don't think you should incite violence.
Yeah,
No,
she's-
I
do you
don't
remember
think it
Class
should
Act?
be that. But
Yeah.
like,
Do you remember?
For
Do you
something
remember
like
in
us,
Class
Mr.
Act
Go,
where
excuse me, I'm with my man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you.
The thing is, I would probably say something.
That's what I'm saying. You might say something yourself before.
Yeah.
When a man says something, you might be like,
I'm going to say something.
That's why I'm saying class act.
Shut your mouth. And
Yeah.
yeah. That's my girl.
Baby.
But if that happens more than once,
she may
bro,
also be like, so are you just going to carry on walking down the street?
you're going to get
I mean,
dumped.
there's a level of how secure you are in it, because on the one hand, it's like I feel like you should know your partner is either going to say something because you're there as well, and you might speak on both to disrespect both of you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, because there are some people who might like the compliment and not say anything and just be happy. Some people are happy for the chaos.
True.
That's
Remember that as
true.
well. Some people just like the
Yeah.
chaos. Some people go. I've been in situations where a woman will come over to me knowing her man is across the room in a nightclub. Because they just want the chaos.
You're just
with you.
You're just in a game. You don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. You're a pawn.
Yeah, part of it. Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right, what's made you sad, mad, and glad this week? Let's go backwards. Dane. What's made you sad, mad, and glad?
What's made me sad this week? I think you spoke the story about the Welsh MP.
Okay.
I think that's made me sad for people that have to live in Wales with that kind of foolishness, and that what's made me mad is the ongoing cost of living crisis. This is right there at the forefront. And what's made me glad? Do you know what's made me glad? I've been watching Succession.
Oh, yes.
We're all glad for Succession.
I mean,
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry.
By extension, what's made me glad is that I think it was this week I read that there have been emails that have been surfaced and text messages from Fox News in their ongoing case against the Dominion voting machine company.
Oh, wow.
And essentially, Dominion are suing Fox News for 1.3 billion in a landmark case where they are proving a defamation suit against Fox News, who knew that the election was not rigged, but still maliciously spread that information
go.
across
Yes,
their
I
viewers.
love that.
Excellent.
Good.
Now they've got the proof. It means it's a landmark case, and never before have they seen this much evidence to support the case of the plaintiff.
Wow.
And if they do win, they won't settle, and they'll have a payout of as much as 1.3 billion. And if they win, there's another voting machine company I think called Safe Smart, who can also sue Fox News. And if they are,
I love this.
Then it's
Then
over.
I love stuff like
Then it's
that.
over.
Good.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Good.
Auntie Sade, what's
Stop
made you
chatting
sad,
shit.
So American related, sad the state of Florida, man. They're trying to get rid of reality. Do you know what I mean? Like,
turn it all into a Disney land.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also Tennessee as well. Like this, what's going on with the guns and it's crazy. That's made me sad. What's made me mad? Yeah, is Pagey Cakes and Tennessee. I was like, what kind of foolishness is
You
this?
don't like Foxy Boxing?
This is like
No.
Chris Brown and Soulja Boy, isn't it?
They're trying to box.
as well.
They're trying to box over some what seems to be a dumb argument. Now it's escalated to boxing.
It's like backshed boxing.
Yeah, it's just like it's just actually made me mad.
You know the one there? It's all after school facts, isn't it?
Yes.
All after school.
That's
gonna
what
get
it
you.
seems like.
Yeah.
That's what YouTubers taking things like after gossip and things like canteen conversations and after school fighting conversations, and they've made it into the industry.
Yeah.
Right.
Like-
Right.
But who do you think's going to win?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then what's made
gonna
me
win?
glad?
Lady Lisha.
Guys,
Go on.
what has made me glad? I know you're so happy that Dane is here.
Yes.
has made me glad. And also my birthday as well.
Yay! Okay, I'll go next.
Thank you.
Oh, go on then.
I was going backwards order.
Oh, no, go on.
Okay, so sad. Oh, my son cried for hours. He had a tryout for a football club and he didn't get selected. Well, we haven't actually heard, but we just broke the news to him, like we should have heard by now, and we haven't heard. And then he cried, and then he was okay, but then he cried himself to sleep. And it was just you know when like your heart breaks
When they cry that deep cry so much.
twofold. I was like, you're 9 and I'm probably not going to have many times to like hold you and keep you safe. And then you sleep. And yeah, but then my heart was breaking because like, oh, you're so disappointed and this is your first disappointment. So that really made me sad.
God.
But I managed to hold my tears in, so I think
Did
I'm
you?
doing better.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
Why did you? I was about to say, why did you?
No, I don't know. I was proud of myself. I was like, oh, you didn't cry with him.
Didn't make it about you.
Very early.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Coming back, they'll develop an amazing resilience.
Yeah.
And just to say to your son, just even being in that conversation to have a go is half the battle. So well done.
Yeah.
Innit?
Nice.
Well done. Just even being there for the trial.
Definitely.
Yes, super proud of him.
bless
But yeah,
him.
so he had his
Very proud of
first
him.
kind of little bit of heartbreak. And then, I'm still mad at black men
We're all mad.
defending Just Pearly Things.
I
Like,
thought you meant in
Who's still
general.
defending?
they're still in the
still
comments
defending,
defending, you know.
yeah.
Black men are still
I
there.
was gonna say, I'm not defending these black men, but just because they're in the comments doesn't necessarily mean they are black men.
That is true.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I'll say.
there's going
It's
to be
the
a
ones that are on
proportion.
screen.
Men.
Yeah. Black presented men.
Identify digitally as black.
I'm super glad. I'm glad that you're here. It's always good having you on the show. You need to come back
very
again.
much. I'd love
And
to.
just that we have got a show out. Like, we've had adversities, but we've done it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad for that.
Auntie
Very
Farah.
true. Okay, so I am sad at about the 2 teenagers that died after their prom in America.
that was
It's just
heartbreaking.
you see the pictures of them all in their prom outfits, and they were like really good students and everything. It's just like, oh, bless them. They died after prom, so that made me sad. I'm mad again about American thing. US officers not pursuing the criminal charges in the Shaniqua Robinson case.
Yeah.
That has made me extra. Yeah, they're not pursuing charges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuckeries.
Yeah.
Madness.
Real fuckeries. So that made me
with pure
really
clean
mad.
video evidence that we all saw.
Yes.
Madness.
Like how? Anyway,
crazy,
because
man.
this is America.
Watch your friend. Watch your friend. Watch your friend.
And I'm also glad that Uncle Dane is here, my fellow Grenadian. Woo!
Positively stepping and repping and that.
Oh, yeah. What's it? You there?
Is that the official sign of Grenada?
Can we have like the
Maybe
first
not.
line of your national anthem, please?
National anthem? No, we have our national anthem. No one really sings it.
No, we don't.
Like we sing, yeah. What we
not
sing
talking
is
about me.
Grenadians May God Bless You, and that's not the national anthem. It's just another song. But
If we did on it, it'd be something like, "What Queen? Listen," and then the rest of it. Circle underscore.
we are. You get me?
Alright, so what's made me sad was the latest episode of Succession. I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen it.
That made you
But it
sad.
made me sad actually. It got me my feels. I was deeply emotional watching that episode of Succession. Watch it. Mad about sort of whatever freaking name is defending the golly doll, whatever pub. Don't like it. And I'm also mad at the people in my house that keep eating out all my food. Going in my fridge.
The people that you live with.
All my
Basically,
The people that you live with that buy food. That buy food as well for the house.
No, there's no.
Like, you got flatmates. You ain't got flatmates.
Do you know what she did, mate? Do you know what she was angry the other day that she had to cook. She was like, I had to cook dinner. I don't do that anymore. Me, I don't cook anymore. It's like, the people in her house do.
People in my house are supposed to cook.
Wow.
They ate out all my food. You know who you are.
Sounds like entitlement to me.
I don't know. It's very much sounding like.
Succession is having an effect on you.
Do you know what I mean?
I've seen them as colleagues and these shareholders.
Facts, they're not even shareholders now. Literally. Anyway, I'm super glad. Yes, Uncle Dane's here. Yes, we got a show out. I'm super glad. I'm not in jail, guys. I'm Bus case. I was looking forward to you not doing a video saying free Auntie AK. I'm not, no jokes.
I would have done that. I would have done that, yeah.
I can laugh now. It has not been a happy couple of months.
Cha.
I was taken to court and charged with common assault from a woman who owes me £35,000.
A charlatan. An inventing and a charlatan.
Yep.
Yes.
And because I shouted at her, because I was so distressed about why she owes me money, she then used it to go to the police and say I attacked her. And I was charged with common assault. Common assault, guys, though, you do not have to touch someone. You can shout at someone, and if the person perceives that they were going to be violent attacks or they're scared, that is grounds to be charged with common assault. Crazy. So I've been in court twice. I've been in the docks. I've had a prosecutor try and twist my words and trip me up. But thankfully, the magistrate saw through the nonsense and said, "You, my friend, are not guilty of these charges." It's been horrendously horrible, but I just want to say thank you to my people who've had my back, who've guided me, who've supported me, to Bark & Co solicitors and Achom and Partners solicitors. Achom and Partners specifically came in pro bono to help me with the second part of my case. They did that for free, guys. It's been amazing. So, Alicia Hall, bro.
Karma's a motherfucker.
It's coming for
and it's
you.
coming for you.
It is coming, trust me. I mean, you already know it's already had a few visits. The fact that they had to go and research common assault and be like, I thought somebody was going to box me in my face. It says a lot about the kind of life you lead where you think people are about to box you in your face over conversations.
Yes.
So,
It's
you
that.
know.
Pay
there's
the
that as
money,
well, trust
man.
me.
Pay the money. But
Pay the
anyway,
money.
Or like, spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder. And that is not a life that people want to lead.
Right.
People don't understand that.
So
Exactly
anyway,
that.
so I'm very, very grateful and glad that that bit of the life part of there is over. Anyway, guys, Dane, you've got 21 seconds to tell us what's going on in your world.
21 seconds to go. 21 seconds to go.
Working on a new show, which I'm going to be taken to Austin for the Moon Tower Festival in Texas.
I saw that. Amazing.
Western Australia in May to June. And then I will be doing
you're going to
a Fringe Festival. And then hopefully we'll be doing that show later on in the year, so look out for that. Also going to be releasing my last show called The Chocolate Chip online. Dates to follow, so look out for The Chocolate Chip. Will be my first YouTube release, so I'm very proud of. So yeah, look out for that. And then also my podcast, Dane Baptiste Questions Everything, is out on all streaming platforms.
Do you know what's failing about your podcast?
Failing?
Yeah. We haven't been on it.
You've tried though, to be fair.
But we have responded.
Yeah. Listen,
you got to get our song.
I question everything.
You have to get us on.
Why the artists haven't been on the podcast.
Well, you question yourself. Why you've not made it happen.
All the time.
And the other thing that you need to question is why are you going to all these dangerous places, Texas and Australia?
You know why? Because as far as I'm concerned, my family worked hard for us to have a red passport.
It's actually black.
It's black now.
Mine's still red.
Mine's so red.
Mine's so red.
As a citizen of the Empire and the Commonwealth, I am free to travel to all of the former colonies as any one of my indigenously English counterparts. As far as I'm concerned, I'm out here planting flags, putting up my feet, bopping into places, invading other people's spaces.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
on
true.
that shit.
You know what you should
do it, man.
Change the name.
Yeah.
Go to Australia and call it Batty Bum Bum.
And plant a flag and say this is mine now.
Change it.
Quayside.
Yeah.
It's far away. It's Quay away. So
It's
Quay.
And on that note, that was your 21 seconds plus 25, 30 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. This has been Your Aunties Could Never. Please follow us on all the social media platforms. Watch us back on Facebook. Oh, no more. On YouTube. That's where you got to watch us.
Keep saying
I don't know, because you know what?
on Facebook.
I've got to take it out of the script. How about that? On YouTube. Listen to our episodes on all the popular listening platforms. And we will be soon on Dane's podcast.
Questioning everything.
Yeah, being questioning and
I
questioning.
think you should
Dane.
spam his comments whenever he puts a clip up. Just like tag it.
Where's the aunties?
Where's the
Where's the
aunties?
aunties?
Where the aunties them?
Where the aunties there?
I think that's fair.
Rate us on Spotify. Rate us everywhere. Help your aunties become rich aunties. All
Help
that
us
stuff.
help you.
And thank you. Shout out to Palumi in the background. Blah, 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 blah.
When you see us looking real good.
Bye, guys.